board, you can do that by going back to school and doing other programs to enhance your skills. We got driver's licenses, they approved of plastic. All these things were done under the Democratic Labour Party government.
Yes.
I would like to also touch on tourism. I've been a person who's been involved in tourism field for about 10 years. I grew up in a tourism household, my father being a water sports operator at the time, and my brother going into that business. So I've driven boat, go on the beach, see what tourists look like. I know what tourists look like. You know, go around and you speak to tourists and then you realize the changes that would happen over time. In 2001, I'd say there was a relatively okay tourism season. But since 2001, Barbados under Barney Lynch has suffered.
True.
When they closed down so many hotels and put them into condominiums, sold down all the way in the entire West Coast. You cannot see the sea from the West Coast from Paynes Bay until you get down to Lower Carlton, St. James.
Tell them, Harry.
This was because Barbados was being sold to the highest bidder. Exactly. When we speak about hotels that Barney Lynch shut down, those hotels that have been in on the beach, Glitter Bay Hotel, the Regent, Beachcomber, Smuggler's Cove, Coconut Creek, and those are only some of the hotels on the west coast of Barbados. Richard Seeley and the Board of Tourism, they took the initiative and they realized that a lot of aircraft, a lot of the airlines did not find Barbados to be as attractive as it ought to be. We managed to get extra flights out of Virgin Atlantic and British Airways when British Midlands stopped flying to Barbados. When Air Jamaica stopped flying to Barbados from New York, we managed to get JetBlue. Not only did JetBlue start off their introductory fares at the $99 one way, but eventually those fares are still very affordable, but they also bought a double flight. Sometimes you could have the choice to fly morning or evening, which previously Barbados could not do on a JetBlue flight. Coming out of Canada, I remember the days when you had to pay $2,500 to get a relatively cheap flight to Canada. No more. Richard Seeley and the Ministry of Tourism, they brought in WestJet. WestJet being very customer friendly in my opinion from my travels with them. And it has been attractive how they have marketed. The Barbados Labour Party said, man, what we're doing this for? People want those old breakdown aircraft, but the aircraft that WestJet has, some of the newest, and they're owned by the persons who work on those aircraft. So therefore you get some of the best service from those areas, and these are avenues that were not targeted before. Furthermore, the Democratic Labour Party sought to embark on a flight coming out of the west of America. However, that flight is no longer flying today, but we must take great note in those measures that we took to ensure that Barbados was given its spot on the international market. Coming out of Dallas, we managed to bring in quite a few persons. However, it proved not to be economical for the aircraft. But we were able to get a lot of publicity through the Dallas Mavericks when they were in the NBA Finals, and we had the cheerleader girls wearing all the Barbados shirts, these tight short shirts. So at the halftime, you get Barbados. During the games, I would see Barbados coming across the board. So this was something that forward thinking by the Minister of Tourism and your Member of Parliament and the Ministry of Tourism. So when we look at these things, we have to question ourselves, who is really bringing true value? When we say true value, we could also look back on Saturday mornings. If you happen to watch Chelsea play football at home, every Chelsea game, you'll see Barbados coming up along the sides. And these are not only available to Barbados, we're in Barbados so we can see this, but this football is shown to millions upon millions of persons. Just look at the forward-thinkingness of the Minister of Tourism. Let's look at where we have managed to put ourselves in the market. I am a young person. I don't have to fear Fronda's Jerome Stewart. True. Because I know Fronda Jerome Stewart would not call me and cuss me.
Yes, bro!